Gomo from Old World Fanatics. I'm just back with another Old World, I guess, video. I guess a couple of caveats. Just down at CanCon in Canberra, back in the hotel room, pretty tired after day one. Went 1-1-1, which I guess we'll chat about in the podcast coming up. But and my throat's a bit sore from talking in the crowds, I guess. But I've been looking at Old World books and rules and stuff, and I've just been looking through some ideas around sort of terror and I guess leadership debuffs with the Tomb Kings. And I'm sure I'm not the first to pick up on some of these, but it feels like there's some potential to really stack some combos there. And I'm sure I've missed a bunch because I've obviously, caveat, I've never played the game, only just trying to get a game in, hopefully in the next day or so. But I thought I might whack this out quickly. It's probably just a short video of some of the ideas, and if you guys have seen this, or you know what works or what doesn't, or if there's other options out there, I guess it'd be cool to know as I'm starting to think about building my Tomb King, like converting my Tomb Kings up from 6th edition over to Old World, I guess. So, I mean, to start off with is like looking into at least the catapult and the casket and how that works. I guess the cool thing about the catapult in Old World is you're still getting that -1. Like, it doesn't matter if you do any wounds at all. Obviously, if you do a wound, like in 6 and stuff, if you at least do one wound, they have to take a panic, which is cool. So you don't have to worry about that 25%. That used to be at -1 leadership. I guess I'm not sure if it still is. I think it is, but what's even better is until the next start of turn subphase, any enemy unit that is within 2d6 inches of the central hole after scattering suffers -1 modifier to its leadership characteristic to a minimum of 2, which is interesting. And it is your next start of turn, so I guess... Does that work with movement after shooting? I guess we'll have to find out. If you've already declared some charges, you might not know, I guess, that you've been able to fire this. The combos, obviously I haven't played, so some of this stuff's not going to work. But I guess the question here is, can you, buff this with some charges in the next movement phase, so to speak? Maybe not the way that's worded, but anyway, let's just keep going. I am tired, so I'm probably missing stuff, but definitely it can well, firstly, I think this can combine, like, all rules, all debuffs and like modifiers are cumulative unless otherwise stated, as far as I know, with the rule book. So what you can actually fit in rare, if I go back to Old World Builder here, in 2,000 points, you can get 2 Screaming Skull catapults and a Casket of Souls. And I guess the reason why you'd want a Casket of Souls is on the next page. One of the spells... Actually, let me go to the next page. Don't know if I should show these. Everyone's got them anyway, so who cares? Is the 36-inch magic missile. So I guess different shooting attacks. If you do your caskets first, then you can do this. Not only is it 36-inch range, so most of the time, at least initially, their wizards aren't even going to be in range for dispelling, but it means that you can, hit them with D6, potentially make them fail their leadership test, and suffer D6 plus 3 strength 6 hits with multiple wounds 2, with no armor or regen save. So potentially, some of those even bigger gribblies that we're seeing around, dragons and stuff, depending on if they got wards and all that. That's pretty scary. If you've only got leadership 8 and you hit them with 2 catapults down to leadership 6, there's a good chance they're going to fail one of them. D6 plus 3 strength 6 hits, you might be looking at 3-4 wounds maybe getting through, and then multiplies by 2. So that's a pretty cool combo. That's how I started thinking about this stuff. But then I thought, leadership's so critical, at least from what I'm seeing, is what other ways do we debuff it? And one of them is... with necromancy, at least it has 2 debuffing spells here. The first one's is a no-brainer. It's Spirit Leech. It's a hex. It's only 18 inches, so you're going to have to get up there. So you're in dispel ranges and all that. But it's until the end of this turn, the target enemy unit suffers -2 modifier to its leadership characteristics. So I guess you're going to have to use that. What this is a hex. So in that actual turn of shooting, which I guess will, you could cast this first, then do the shooting, and you're getting them down to -4 potentially on that test, and really smashing them with the casket. So again, you would probably combo that in there. Cannot use the General's Inspiring Presence. So again, is it a monster and it doesn't have a great leadership? I mean, I haven't looked at them, but I'm sure this is going to be pretty critical. Again, the range, like everything in probably Old World, by the look of it, this is going to be the movement positioning is going to be critical. But the other shooting one, this Magical Vortex, I think has been overlooked sometimes. I haven't heard too many people talk about this. Yeah, it's a 12-inch range. You got to put the central hole, but it's the big template, 5-inch blast template. Whilst in play, the template does not... So this remains in play. The template does not move and treated as dangerous terrain. Whilst within 8 of the template, enemy units suffer from -1 to their leaderships and cannot use the General's Inspiring. So that's 12 plus 2.5 is what, 15.5? Is 14.5 plus 8. So it's a 22.5-inch spell, so to speak, if you know what I mean, in terms of being able to reach out and debuff someone's leadership by 1. So potentially you're looking at, -1 here, -2 here, that's -3. You hit them with two caskets, you're getting to -5, So, is this a way to really knock out some of those big, high wound, units, characters, things like that, potentially? I guess the other thing is just thinking about terror. If you could then come in with your dragon or other terror-causing stuff, which the problem is with rare, a lot of the other ones are in rare, so you can't get the giant or you can't get the Necrosphinx. So you're going to have to rely on, say, the Bone Dragon, or there's some items. So if I jump, obviously the Tomb Kings have, if we just jumped into the, sorry, that just went to the wrong screen. The Ravening Hordes, if we jump into the magic items, we're going to see, which one is it? You just got that normal Death Mask. I think it's in here somewhere. Where's the Death Mask? Where's the Death Mask? I've probably gone past it. Oh, there it is. Right past it. You're back. Death Mask of Karna. So you put that in, say, a unit of Tomb Guard or something like that, and on the champion, and suddenly that unit's causing terror. So there's a couple of ways to get terror. What I was thinking with the list that I was just playing around with, again, it's not a full list or anything, I was just looking around at some points and stuff, is could you couple those leadership buffs or debuffs with panic tests and stuff through shooting and stuff? So you're not really causing terror, but maybe you're whittling people down with some panics and stuff through archers, even these, charging with carrion, even the Asharpti with their big great bows, potentially. Again, I haven't looked at that. Maybe that's not as critical, but, it does feel like there's some leadership things here we could do. And then the other cool thing, probably sort of unrelated to that, if I can find it. Where was it? Now I can't find Ravening Hordes. Where is it? The Arcane Journal has some interesting magic items which could help, like this Curse Weaver wand is 20 points. And you get a +1 modifier to your casting roll to do hex spells. So, I think you couple, if you want those 2 spells, you're going to have to probably get the Lore Familiar, which I guess has been annoying because you probably can't take this one then. But there's some options here where, if you don't have the Lore Familiar and you just hopefully getting those spells, you can maybe use this to get those extra, just to help you get those spells off, which is a pretty cool item. And then I did find, again, this is probably going off my topic now, but if you do put that fear or that terror on the, say, Tomb Guard, could you also have a character in there which has, for example, they've got a poison weapon here or a poison item. This one, the Bearer of the Amulet of Serpent, any unit they have joined gains poison special attack. So I thought Tomb Guard with whatever cleaving blow or whatever it's called, and poison attacks. Does that work, people? I don't know. I guess I won't know unless I start trying it. Um, but yeah, I think if you can cause those terror attacks, especially with the Bone Dragon and say King on that, terror's always already -1, and you've got up to hitting another -5, depending on how many of those other buffs or debuffs, I should say, you get off. Is this a build? Are these spells and stuff worth building around, I guess, is the question. And if you've played Tomb Kings and you've tried some of this stuff out, or if I've got stuff totally wrong because of, how Magic's working, I haven't got my head around that in terms of start of phase and what phase. Some of this probably won't work, but it does feel like leadership's important. If we can knock it down, we've got much more chance of breaking them and or making them rout. So I think there's some cool stuff here that I'm sure it's not just Tomb Kings that can do it, but it obviously feels like there's a lot of spells here that make it easier for Tomb Kings to do it. So anyway, let me know if I've got any of that wrong or right. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And once we finish with CanCon, we'll do a podcast and maybe some battle report reviews of that. So keep you guys in the loop there. But once CanCon's done, we're going hardcore into Old World, hopefully. So like to if you're not subscribed already, there's a lot of people who watch these videos who aren't subscribed as usual. So I'd love you if you could do that, and we'll be back in our usual spots, when we get home. So yeah, thanks for watching.